when people come into your life that are a big influence and can help you and be a mentor, it's incredibly special. And I was fortunate to have that with Dick Clark back in the day. Working together, we hit it off and we became friendly. And I started doing some of the New Year's Eve specials with him, and he took me under his wing, and he had a huge influence on my life and sort of changed my way and the way I approach his business. And so that's why I always said, I want to be the Latino Dick Clark.
Now, from Funko Hollywood, it's time for Pop Talk.
Hey everybody, it's your pal Funmaker Mike. It's time again for another episode of Pop Talk. That's right, you know him from Saved by the Bell and from Access Hollywood and many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome Mario Lopez.
Hey Mike, thanks for having me, man.
Well, hey, before we get started, Mario, I'm going to ask you to build something here.
Okay.
It can be you, it can be alter ego you, it can be fantasy pop, whatever you want. Just build something and have fun.
Fun, you might have to help me out. As I'm talking, you build it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here.
It's activities, all right, let's see.
As you know, we're a collectibles company. I don't know if you had a chance to walk through the store, but...
This store is so impressive, it's so cool. I wish my kids were here, but they're off in camps and what have you.
Well, feel free to bring them back anytime, but let me ask you, do you, Mario Lopez, collect anything?
I've been asked that a lot because people want to get you gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Other than liquor,
yeah.
I got a lot of tequila. Other than that, and cigars, I don't think I'm much of a collector per se. I like watches. I don't know, but I don't know if I would consider myself a collector, if you will, because then it feels like a responsibility, and I got too much on my plate.
Right.
It's supposed to be building, right? All right.
Yeah, but take your time. This is
all right.
It's going to be 2 or 3 hours.
No. Oh, damn. All right.
How did you originally get into acting? I know you've been asked that probably 1,000 times, but hey, we all want to hear it again.
I sort of fell into it because I wasn't one of those kids that, I want to be on TV. I'm a child of immigrants. I grew up in Chula Vista. One of your boys right here is from the same area that I'm from, which is kind of cool. It's a border town, and to keep me busy and out of trouble, my parents, who were very blue-collar folk, my dad worked for the city, my mom, the phone company. I read well as a kid and talked a lot, and I wasn't shy, especially with adults. So somebody approached her if I'd be interested in getting in print work and stuff. And Mom was like, yeah, sure, it doesn't shut up. And she asked me, hey, mijo, and I was like, yeah, all right. So I just kind of fell into it. Once I fell into it, then I fell in love with it. But I've always liked to entertain and host, so it worked out.
You're what this country is all about.
Say goodbye to Rose and Blanche for me.
You know another famous guy from Chula Vista, Fluffy.
That's my guy, Gabriel Iglesias, that's right. He's got a Funko too, that's my boy. We're actually doing a project together right now too, so yeah, I love me some Fluffy.
What was your inspiration to study dance?
Well, I didn't really study dance. It was just one of the many activities my mom put me in.
Hit it.
I was the only dancing, wrestling, karate, theater kid that I knew. So it was, I didn't study it per se. It was just a kid kind of doing what my mom said. Look at my dude, old school right here. My guy's coming along great.
How did Saved by the Bell come about?
Well, it was a show off of another show called Good Morning Miss Bliss that I was not in. And then they added myself and Tiffany Thiessen. Oh, and Elizabeth Berkley. And we were the new characters. It was a Saturday morning show. And then it got into syndication and it started getting all popular there. So never did I think like 30 some odd years it'd still be around. But it was a fun experience. I had a great time doing it. Look how badass my little dude is. My little dude is like me, big ass head, kicking it with flops with the hole. Does that look like me? I like that dude.
I like it. That's the fastest
There
pop
you go.
that's
I got
ever
a hat
been
on
built.
like me right now. I like that guy. I'm a Funko maker. Sorry, Mike, what was your question?
Tell us about your connection with the Boys and Girls Club.
So I grew up going to a Boys and Girls Club since I was a kid because both my parents worked. And when I wasn't going to my grandparents' house, I'd go there and keep me off the street. So I started going from 5 years old. Through there, I got into wrestling and a bunch of other activities, but really wrestling was the main thing that I focused on there. And from about 5 to like 15, 16, I was there every day after school. So it's, I love the mentors there, what they're all about. So I give back all the time to the Boys and Girls Clubs. At the time, it was just a boys club.
Yeah.
It was just called Boys Club, but now it's Boys and Girls. That's how old I am. But it's been fun. And so I'm proud to say we've been able to do a lot of great things and raise a lot of money and help a lot of kids. It's important to me. So I'm glad that I'm still able to give back.
That's great. And so do you have one of the, I don't know how that works, but one of the Boys and Girls Clubs named after you in Chula Vista?
Well, they've gotten nice little plaques and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need necessarily anything named after me. It's all about the kids, so I'm just glad to get to raise the awareness level and raise some resources for them.
Reset moment after Saved by the Bell, like when it was wrapped and done, did you have any kind of moment where you're going to go, what am I going to do next? Or did you already have projects lined up? Or
No, there's a lot of, I thought you said recent, but you said reset.
Yeah, I just don't read so well.
No.
So good.
I mean, listen, it's always tough to make a transition as a former child actor into an adult, and you've heard a lot of stories where things have gone awry, and I feel very blessed that I had very supportive, great parents to kind of keep me on the right track. But I've always had sort of a hustler mentality and a strong work ethic, so I didn't just want to kind of stay in one little box. And so that's why if I wasn't acting, I'd be dancing and hosting and producing and trying different things and working on plays. And so fortunately, I didn't have too many lulls, but once I started getting a little bit older, then I started finding my niche a little more in hosting and kind of got into a groove there, and I was able to kind of create other opportunities for me to sort of stay busy and knock on wood, thank God, still be in this business all these years later.
Speaking of Disneyland, I didn't know we did speak of it, but we heard something about a Space Mountain video you may or may not have been in.
I was in a Space Mountain video years ago, and it's funny that I'm no longer in, and I was like the captain of the Space Mountain ship. I did that, like I remember one afternoon, and then it played for years on the loop, and so many people saw it. Sort of like now, everyone sees me on the must-see movies with Mario in the hotel rooms. I'm in over 1 million hotel rooms telling you what movies you should rent and watch. So,
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. A lot of people have seen it, and it's been everywhere. And a lot of people who travel either for a living or just on vacation tell me they see me, and people bring that up probably more than anything else.
How did your interest in hosting come about?
Well, I've always liked hosting, whether it's parties at my house, game nights, just making sure people are having a good time.
Yeah.
I like to entertain. I like people to have fun, and I do it all the time. So I think the same guy that you get at home during these parties, the same one that's hosting the nationally syndicated radio show or my entertainment talk show or my daytime talk show. So it's fun, and you get to be yourself, and it comes very natural. I think you gotta like people and be genuinely inquisitive and like to hear stories, and I do. And I'm a fan of entertainment. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but I love TV, I love film and music. So I think when you come from that place and you know your stuff, the artists respond well. So I feel very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing.
Let's talk about music. So what are you into?
I love all music, from classic rock, yacht rock, to hip hop, to mariachi, to seriously everything. So it depends on what the mood. And when I'm working out, I like upbeat, obviously quicker music. When I'm chilling out at home, a little more long day and listening to something a little more mellow. So it depends on the situation.
What do you prefer, stage or TV?
Well, I like them both. But TV's, I'm on it every day, so I'm very fortunate to be doing that. But I love stage and I love doing Broadway. That's where I met my wife, and that was something I always wanted to check off on my bucket list. So it's a special place in my heart. And I love New York when I get to spend time there.
You ever been to a Comic-Con?
Oh yeah, I've been to a few. I've been to Comic-Cons, I've been to a Christmas Con, I did 90s Con. So I've done a couple of those actually, they're kind of fun.
And you've been to the San Diego one probably, right?
Yeah, so I've been down there, that's where it all started, that's the big, granddaddy.
We have our little Saturday morning land over here. I don't know if you saw it.
I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I'm gonna cruise around later.
So what was Saturday morning? What did that mean to you? Were you a cartoon guy? Did you get your Captain Crunch out and watch Speed Racer? Or
Damn, I'm not that old, but I love Saturday morning. I mean, aside from it having a special place in my heart with Saved by the Bell being a Saturday morning live action sitcom, first of its kind, as a matter of fact. I remember when we beat Bugs Bunny, that was a big deal. Man, waking up early, that was the irony. You get to sleep in Saturday mornings, but I love to wake up early Saturday morning, get my big bowl of cereal. I never liked the sugary ones. I was like a boring cereal guy, like Raisin Bran, Crispix, stuff like that. But I get it, eat it, watch all the cartoons. For some reason, I remember like He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and Smurfs. And they had this guy, Tom, what was his last name? He used to do Popeye. Those are great times.
Yeah, you are younger than me, by a long way.
I don't know about a long way. How old are you?
I'll be 60 here in a couple of...
Good for you. Look at that. You got all your wig and everything. Good for you.
Yeah, that...
Not a lot of gray either, damn.
I know, that's the only thing I got going for me.
You got a lot more.
Okay, you've been an advocate for health and fitness. Was this rooted in early days as a high school wrestler?
I mean, I always tell people your health should be your number one priority, because if you don't have that, what good is anything else?
Yeah.
And it's been an important part of my life, and I try to practice what I preach, and design a lot of programs for the Boys and Girls Club for a lot of kids out there. I mean, as I'm sure you know, obesity is a big issue, especially with younger people, and it keeps getting worse as we go on with generations. So anything I can do to kind of help, I try to encourage people to break a sweat and make healthier choices if they can.
Do you have a certain mindset to discipline yourself to try to...
You talking about with food?
Yeah, like with food and exercise, like...
Well, for me, like the exercise, I'm a hyper guy. Yeah. So I don't feel like I ever really woke up unless I've broken a sweat, and I need to like kind of exert that energy. So I'm always doing jiu-jitsu or boxing or something, and it allows me to escape too. And I always say I train more for sanity than for vanity, to be honest. So that's the easy part. The food part, I'm really like a fat kid at heart. I love everything, and I love to eat. I was grazing right there before I came and sat down. And that requires a little bit more discipline, which is tough. But you know, I don't discriminate when it comes to food or say no to a lot of things. I just try to be a little bit smart about it, and practice a little portion control, and then in the weekends go nuts and feel bad and start again on Monday.
I guess what keeps you going? What motivates you?
Well, number one, again, I've always had a very strong work ethic and blessed with a great, strong parental unit and family that has supported me and kind of have kept me in check for the most part. And I've always been pretty ambitious and wanted to do a lot of different things. And again, I've been really fortunate to be as busy as I have. And now I've got extra motivation and incentive with my family. I've got a great wife and 3 beautiful, healthy kids, and they keep me going, and have even provided an extra jolt of enthusiasm to want to tackle all this stuff. And, you know, proud to say kind of busier than ever, and have a nationally syndicated radio show called On with Mario for iHeart Radio. It's in over 120 markets, and my daily talk show, Access Daily, and also my nighttime entertainment show, Access Hollywood, and I do those every day, aside from all the other stuff that I'm producing, and holiday movies that I'm in, and you know, I love it, and I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. And my family's probably the main thing that keeps me going, and I want to represent my community well, and at the end of the day, to be able to, you know, make my parents proud.
Is there someone in your professional career that you've come across that you feel is like an unsung hero, or someone that you feel like maybe in the industry that really deserves a little bit more praise? It seems like they've just been like marginalized or something.
I mean, there's a slew of talented people here that haven't necessarily gotten their opportunity, their break, or their flowers for whatever reason, and you know, unfortunately, that's how show business is, and it's not for any particular reason. So I don't know, probably too many to name, to be honest with you. When people come into your life that are a big influence and can help you and be a mentor, it's incredibly special. And I was fortunate to have that with Dick Clark back in the day, when he was here with us, and I'm proud and honored to call him a friend. And he had a huge influence on my life, and you know, he sort of changed my way into sort of thinking, the way I approach this business. And so that's why I always said, you know, I want to be the Latino Dick Clark.
Wow, that's great. I never knew that. I mean, can you elaborate just a tiny bit more about that? Like, how did you meet him, and what was
We used to do a show called The Other Half, which was basically like the male view. At the time, I was in my late 20s, single, and I was that guy. Then we had a doctor, and we had Dick Clark, who was sort of in the Barbara Walters role, right? The Old Sage, and Danny Bottaducci, I think, was in that. And the bad timing was that is we premiered on 9/11.
Oh.
When that happened.
Oh no.
Awful timing. Or it was the Monday, 9/11 was a Tuesday, but you know, right on the heels, and obviously the world was thrown upside down there. And we managed to hang around for a couple seasons, and ever since then we, excuse me, working together, we hit it off, and we became friendly. And I started doing some of the New Year's Eve specials with him, and he took me under his wing, and we just kind of hit it off from there.
What's this? It says 3 words for you, sexy Colonel Sanders.
Oh, I did a thing for KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and I guess they've had different people in the past, Rob Lowe and Norm Macdonald, and random people play Colonel Sanders. But I did one and kind of went viral because it was like a spoof on Colonel Sanders, and but with like a soap opera, and I guess that's what people were calling me. But it was fun. It was funny.
We can probably find that on the internet.
Oh yeah, it's out there.
Who the hell are you? Harlan Sanders, the new chef.
What do you think about like internet, social media and stuff? Like, is there anything that, I mean, how do you feel about it for like your kids and stuff? Is that, I don't know how old they are, but like, is that something that you want to be real careful with, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I think every parent needs to be careful with it. I mean, personally, I think it has its pros and cons just like everything else. It's a great way to connect with people, to keep up with people, to talk directly maybe to your audience. It can be really entertaining and really funny. Also very lucrative in different places to have an extra revenue stream if you're clever about it. But at the same time, obviously a mean place, an angry place, a place for people to vent and not be so nice. So you kind of got to have to balance that. And, you know, I keep it always positive on mine. And with kids, it's obviously, my kids aren't on it. And maybe when they're older, obviously it's inevitable, but you just got to monitor it. And it is what it is. You can't escape it.
What's on the horizon for you? What can we expect to hear about you coming soon? Is there anything you want to talk about that's coming up? Or
well, all the shows that I described earlier, besides the TV shows with NBC and the radio, which have been great. I got a documentary that I produced with my friend Mark Wahlberg about my other friend, Oscar De La Hoya, which is coming out July 25th, called The Golden Boy, which turned out great, and we just premiered at Tribeca. I got another one in the works. I can't talk about yet, but it's really exciting. It's going to be fun, too. Another holiday movie in the that's we're getting ready to kind of do, and so, you know, feel really lucky with everything going on.
Are you ready for rapid fire fun? Here we go. Favorite movie of all time?
You can't go favorite movie. You got to go like Mount Rushmore or something of favorite movies.
Never
or you
saw
got to go
it.
like a favorite drama or a favorite comedy. I can't just name one. It's like picking one of my kids.
Favorite Hitchcock movie of all time?
That's a little more pointed. I like that. Rear Window.
Good one. Favorite cartoon growing up as a kid?
Old school Looney Tunes, specifically Foghorn Leghorn. Pay attention when I'm talking to you, boy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Favorite song?
Again, you can't go favorite song.
From the
From
50s. No, from the 80s. Let's go to the 80s. Like the best generation of all.
That's tough. I'll tell you what songs like strikes a chord with me just because my dad loves it so much and it connects my dad and I. I love What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, yeah. I like the Doobie Brothers.
You said, oh yeah, like that's like a random song. It's a badass song, Mike.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, who did
won
we
a
have?
Grammy for best song. He's like, oh yeah.
Okay, first car you bought with your own money.
Mustang 5.0, 1991. It was the last of the big block engines they had. Standard, it was stick shift. People don't even know how to drive a stick shift now, but that was fun. I still have it, as a matter of fact. I gave it to my dad and he still has it.
Wow. Favorite ride at Disneyland?
Pirates of the Caribbean, but for personal reasons.
Okay. First music you ever bought with your own money?
New Edition, Cool It Now.
Okay, these are fun answers. Favorite superhero and why?
Never been a big superhero guy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, I'd probably go the Hulk, just because I like the Hulk. Because of the TV show with Bill Bixby. Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Yeah. I like that. And he ripped out of his shorts, but then he still had covered the other part. That part tripped me out. And Lou Ferrigno, I like that.
Favorite movie soundtrack of all time?
It's a good one. Easy, Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Love it.
If you could, or I don't know if you, maybe you do, but if you could master a musical instrument, what would it be?
Well, I used to play the drums. I wouldn't say I mastered it, but I used to. I love the drums and I love music, like I explained. But it would have to be the piano because if you could play the piano, you could pretty much play everything else.
Okay, I'm going to test you then. Favorite drummer of all time?
John Bonham, Led Zeppelin.
Wow. Okay. I thought for sure you'd say Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland's great too. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. You know who underrated though? Like I love Phil Collins and Don Henley because they were both great drummers and singers. And it's rare when they were. Now I'm talking your era. It's rare when you had great drummers who were the lead singers.
I know.
And Don Henley and Phil Collins were excellent drummers, obviously excellent singers, which I'm sure you knew.
Okay, this one's fun, and then we'll wrap this up here. But favorite band or musical artist that we'd be really surprised you were into?
I'm into the yacht rock genre right now.
Carpenters or something like that?
No, not you haven't heard like yacht rock? That's like, you know, Bog Skaggs, Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
Sort of like it's yacht rock.
What does that mean? The yacht part
Ambrosia. It's just like a certain kind of sound, you know. You'd love it.
I know.
That's your era, player.
You're naming all of my favorites right now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta go non-serious and put on yacht rock. You'd like that. So I like that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, what was it like to be popped?
Oh man, it's so funny. The head's accurate size. Awesome. My mom loves these. My kids love them. These are great.
Have you signed a lot of them?
I have, as a matter of fact, I have signed a lot of them. So I'm very I'm very touched. I'm flattered. It's awesome.
All right, and what did you build here?
I built like a little version, which I thought of me right now in the summertime. T-shirt, flops, shades, my hat backwards, as you can see. Mario in the summer.
Well, there you have it. That wraps up another edition of Pop Talk with our pal Mario Lopez. Thank you so much, man, for being here.
That was fun, Mike.
Thank you.
You got it, buddy.
All right.
Hey. You gotta get Yacht Rock. You'd love it.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I didn't know exactly what it meant.